Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Mom Rant. I must warn you that there's a full house today, plus we have load shedding, so I couldn't even pacify my kids with a movie. So yeah, there's husband, cat, kids, everyone is here. So if there's any noise or crying or anything happening in the background, just, no, I did warn you. So, Lord, I hope you can't hear that because my son is losing his mind with his sisters. Oh, I'm sorry. Anyway, so I quite enjoyed doing the last Mom Rant. I found it to be very therapeutic, I must say. I'm not a confrontational person at all. So when I'm in a situation where I should probably voice my opinion or say something about how I feel something is going, I tend to sort of keep quiet, and then I'll wait till I get home, and then it's just like whoever's around will get like a full assault on the ears of what I should have said or what I should have done. So it is something I want to work on. It's something that I want to improve because I feel like one day I am going to be in the position where I need to say how I feel, and I don't want to just be like retreat back. I want to be able to say what I want to say. So let's get started. Did you like that one? Okay, so this video has actually been on my mind for a few weeks now. It made me so worked up and flustered. I don't know if my feelings were validated, we'll see. That as soon as it happened, obviously in the situation I kept quiet because mostly I was shocked, and also like there was just too many faces on me at that time, but for me to like, and also when I get really like worked up, I like get hot and the words don't really come out right. So it's kind of like what's happening now. But as soon as it happened and it was done, I like got in the car and I phoned Carl and I was like, you won't believe what just happened. So anyway, so I had to make notes, and I sent the notes to Carl, and I just wanted to make sure that I covered all my bases, and that I actually had a proper argument to put forward today, so that if there's any parents or anyone that was like, no, you were in the wrong, or you are looking at it the wrong way, that I could be like, okay, but I've got my things to back it up, to validate how I feel. So I'm already getting like ready to like fight someone about it. But anyway, so a couple of weeks, or probably more like a month ago, we had a school meeting. It was the last school meeting of the year, and they were just covering all the different things that was happening the last few weeks of school, assessments, and all the normal stuff. So they brought up the topic of graduation. So I was kind of like, okay, it's a pretty safe topic, and probably going to just go over, where it's going to be, all that kind of stuff. And one of the parents put up their hand and said, is the graduation going to be the same as last year? And I was like already a bit like confused, like, okay. And the teacher said, no. We heard all the complaints and all the problems from last year's graduation. We're doing it different this year. And I was still like, what? What did everyone, did I miss something? Like, I know sometimes I'm not always all there, but I'm pretty sure it was a normal, like, graduation. And one of the other moms actually asked, she's like, okay, what was the problem? What happened? And she said, no, her child was, and these words are almost exactly what she said. She was like, no, her child was deeply traumatized, and it was an extremely painful experience for her family because I'm like in it. I'm so in it. Okay, I'm so sorry about that. My kids are insisting that I put on a movie for them, and I keep trying to tell them that it's load shedding, and I can't. And they keep saying, but just go to the switch, put it on, and I'm just like, why would I do this to myself? Why would I put electricity off to torture you when I need to do this. So anyway, where was I? Yes, so this parent expressed that it was just a terrible experience for them. And it was a normal graduation. So each child got a certificate for passing the grade, and then they had special awards for kids that did outstanding in certain subjects, that were maybe the top achiever. And for me, that's pretty normal. Like, I don't really see, what could have been so, and like so weird for them or so hard. And this parent said if it's going to be the same, they'd rather not send their child to the graduation. They will not invite all the family if their child's not going to get an award. And what shocked me even more than this weird ass statement was how every single parent seemed to agree. And I literally was sitting there with my face like, huh? Like, what is even happening here? I honestly, and I might be wrong, but I honestly don't understand what the issue was. And what's weird for me is my daughter, this year I've got Ava in grade art, so she'll also be going to the graduation. But last year it was just Zoe. And she worked really, really hard. She was so proud of herself. She knew how proud we were of her. And she worked hard. She loved going to school. She loves learning. And she was okay. She literally went home after the graduation. We all kissed and hugged, and we made a big fuss over her because we were proud of her. And you could see her face when she got that certificate. She was like standing there like yes, I passed. Like she didn't scrape by. She did really, really well. And she went home, had a huge slice of cake, and when she got home, she sat on the couch in a panty, and she was just like so relieved that the year was over, and she forgot about it. There was no crying, there was no disappointment, there was no like, oh, why me? And that was that. Okay, so I'm not saying that maybe while the graduation was happening, seeing certain students go up a second time around, they didn't sit there and feel like, oh, okay, where's my second award? I'm not saying that there was no disappointment involved, but is that such a bad thing? Like, really, is it? I don't know if this how people will feel about this, but I'm okay with my children being disappointed. I feel like it's a part of life. It's a healthy emotion to experience, and experiencing a little bit at a time when they're younger. When they're older, it won't seem such a big deal. It will be like, you know what, shit happens. I worked hard, but I'm proud of myself. My parents are proud. Everyone's happy. It just wasn't my time. It just wasn't my day to get the award or get the promotion or what have you. So I'm not saying kids aren't entitled to feel disappointment in that situation, but I feel like to grow as a person, it's a necessary thing to feel as well. So I'm okay with letting my kids feel that way, and allowing them to also know that their parents will be there for them, their friends will be there for them, their family will be there for them, and the disappointment, that feeling will pass eventually. So it's not something that you have to pull your hair out over. It's not a big deal.
Can me and Zoe swim?
Right now I want to disappoint her and say no, but she's also just working on my nerves. Yes, you can go swim. Where was I? So as an adult now, I know that you can pour your blood, sweat and tears into something, give it all you have, and someone can still have the edge on you. You can still experience that thing of someone else getting the promotion, even though you worked just as hard. And I feel like it can only help you in the real world getting these lessons now. So as an adult, you'll just be like, okay, cool, I'll get another chance. I'll just have to work hard again. Cool, move on. So number 2, I feel like placing so much importance on actually receiving an award puts kids in such a difficult position. It places them under so much, stress, and puts so much on their shoulders, and they are so young. These kids are in primary school, And I feel like it's more, your kid not getting an award is more, some parents see it more as a reflection on them as opposed to their kids, because they feel like, what are other people going to think that their kid didn't get an award? And it's more about the parents' ego at the end of the day. And I feel like you rob your kids of the opportunity to be happy for their fellow student, to actually go up to that student and say, you know, even knowing how hard they worked and knowing how hard other kids also worked, and you take that away from them. They're not allowed, they feel so, they're so consumed by their feelings of disappointment and, oh, this is unfair, or whatever, or you ranting in the car about, oh, that child got an award, you didn't get an award. Instead of encouraging your child, say, go over to Pit Pompies and say, congratulations, you worked hard, you deserve the award. And I feel it just gives kids that feeling of bitterness, that every time someone gets something that they don't get, that they're going to feel like that child didn't deserve it. Whereas maybe that child really did deserve it. And you also have to teach your child that other kids, even though you worked hard, may also be deserving of an award. And that's another important thing for parents to teach their kids, that they have to feel proud of other people, because you would want, if your child gets an award, you wouldn't want another child to be like, ugh, that child got an award and I didn't. You would want other people to feel happy for your child. And I feel like it's important lessons that you miss the opportunity to teach your kids at such a young age as well. I'm getting through it. I'm sorry, but my kids just threw me off my game today. Number 3 on my list is teaching kids that it's only worth doing something because you're going to get a reward or an accolade at the end of the day. For me, is quite an unhealthy thing as well. There are plenty of jobs where you work hard and you do the most for people, and you never get that. You don't even get a thank you or a reward or a gift or anything. And one thing I love that I teach my kids is they have to do something that makes them happy first, that fulfills them, that is to follow and pursue their passions, not to look at what kind of reward will they get if they do it, or what will people think, what will people say if I do this. You do it for yourself. You do something that's passionate, you pursue it with all you have, and at the end of the day, if you can put your head on your pillow and you can rest easy, and even if only you know that you're doing it and your parents and your sisters know that you're doing it, but it fulfills you, then do it. It's important to tell your kids that there is merit in doing things that nobody notices. It's not a shameful thing to go through your whole life working hard and not getting any reward just because it's not a job that is, very popular, if I can say it like that. I feel like it really sucks that we live in a world where if you're not the best or the biggest or the greatest, that it's either you're the ultimate winner or you're a complete loser. It makes life very binary. And I'm not saying as a parent you shouldn't want to push your kids to be ahead of the pack. That's not what I'm saying. But also we shouldn't be fostering an idea of we should be giving praise where praise isn't due. The one thing that I want to teach my kids is that they need to be non-reliant on outside opinions, that what they feel about themselves is good enough. It shouldn't be, a feeling of I worked hard but I didn't get the reward, so therefore what I did wasn't good enough. Kids should feel and should know from the inside, I did my best, and if I'm not rewarded physically, that's okay, because what I put out was the best. I think we also need to let kids realize how extremely privileged they are. Some kids really come out of really dire situations, pushing themselves to do better, and I feel that sometimes we need to also just take a step back and be like, yes, you're working hard, but someone else could also be working just as hard in even more difficult situations. And sometimes it's important to tell kids more about doing jobs that are in service to others, in a way to give back to kids or to give back to people who aren't in the privileged situation that they might be in. And I feel the one job of service that I feel I have a really soft spot for is teachers, and especially teachers sometimes put themselves in the worst situations, and they are the ones trying to bring the best out of your kids. And sometimes they are the ones that are doing more of the discipline, more of the encouragement. And it's really, like, if I look at the teachers in my kids' schools, I'm so blessed with them, honestly. I don't have the easiest kids in the world. Their personalities are very strong, and they're very set in what they want to do and on how they behave sometimes. But also, when they don't feel right in a situation, they show it quite prominently. They'll behave a certain way. They really show it physically and emotionally. They don't try and hide it very. They don't hide it very well. If they're unpleased, they're not happy in a situation. And instead of the teachers just like writing my kids off and saying, oh, they're naughty, or they're misbehaving, whatever the case, they always go the extra mile with me, and they'll call me in. They'll be like, okay, we know your child, or we can see your child there's a lot of promise, and how can we work together? And I mean, they don't have to do that. They can literally, they don't have to go that far. They really go the distance with the kids, just on a day-to-day. They spend more time with the kids than the parents do. And they'll call, with Zoe and Ava this year, I got called in, and they were like, especially with the Zoe, the principal was like, we know Zoe, and we know what type of student she is. This is not how she behaves. What can we do with you? Let us know what you're doing at home, and let's work together. And we stayed on the same page. Whatever I was implementing at home, they implemented at school. Even with Connor, I have such a good relationship with the principal and with his teacher. We work really well together, and it's important for the kids to also see how well the parents and the teachers communicate, because then they know they can't get away with anything at school or get away with anything at home, because we be talking behind the back. So okay, so thank you for listening to me rant about my kids' graduation. It's actually happening on Thursday, so I'm interested to see how it's going to go down. So yeah, I encourage any parents out there, or anybody actually, if you have an opinion that differs to mine, if you had a similar experience happen with you, I would really love to sort of connect and exchange opinions and views. And I know it might be a really small thing to some people, like, okay, how can she be ranting about kids getting an award for graduation, like, move on. But for me, I feel teaching your kids little lessons when they're younger, it really equips them for adulthood, so we don't walk around with entitled egomaniacs around. And you sort of, I don't know if you've met an adult and you're just like, oh, your parents loved you far too much when you were younger. I don't want my kids to walk around like that. And I also don't want people to think like I walk around disappointing my kids. Like, when they ask me, can they have ice cream, I say yes, and then I'm like, ha, taking it away from you, disappointment in your face. No, I mean just normal everyday life lessons. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I feel like it was a little bit like, because we were interrupted quite a few times by my girls, but otherwise I hope you guys enjoyed it. And as always, like us if you like us, and subscribe if you know what's good for you. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.